The history of YouTube over the last 6 years has been tumultuous, rough, and at times unbearable. But through it all, our Grand Secretariat made sure to steer us on the path to salvation. Who can forget the legendary 7 seconds or less swearing massacre of 2022, the fabled dislike button riots of 2021, the numerous criminals against the state relocated to humane conditions, might I add, in Siberia, and best of all, leading us through the exalted demonetization civil war of 2016. I salute you, comrade. Wherever you go next, just revel in the realization you made the Uviatubian a better place. Is she gone? Perfect. De-Stalinization it is. Surely the new YouTube CEO is at least somewhat better. Right?
With my mug on me. Oh, this is bad. With my mug on me. Oh, DD, oh, what it is? Oh, DD, what?
Just in case you were all wondering, I played a Boondocks clip in my last video and it got demonetized. The ops shot it up the second it entered the hood, right as I finished uploading it. I mean, fair enough, there was swearing in the first 7 seconds, but then in this video, I showed a lactating nipple, full-on no censor, a mammary gland, a female titty, and it's still up. I'm just apt. In any case, Wolf Among Us episode 3 on crack continues today, where we engage in a wild goose chase for Crane, who's wanted for harassment of the sexual variant in the workplace, a case a cop as brutal and corrupt as myself would normally throw out the window. But the victim is my boss and knows of my abuse of power, so I kinda have to take him in today, unfortunately. Let's go smoke some crack off. Well, not the powdered stuff, certainly. This guy would huff the entire brick by just sniffling. I mean, bro could probably track the delivery driver with just his nose. Family tree must look like a recycling logo with that genetic malformation. And play The Wolf Among Us, episode 3 on crack. I stare at what looks like a photo of insert billionaire here with a minor they stole off of Jeffrey Epstein before he tragically passed away by bashing his own head against a wall before proceeding to shoot himself in the back 5 times. Preparing to give Crane the fair sentence of 20 to life for stealing my hoe. Beauty is disgusted, and this is someone who got her back Mortal Kombat finishered by a wildebeest, so you know Crane messed up. Beast here doing absolutely nothing, going, "What happened?" Boy, if you don't shut your ass up, I'll plant 100 pounds of Colombia's finest in your car. Just try me. Beast tells me Snow's with Holly in Buckingham Bridge, which sounds like the Queen's funeral is commencing shortly. Again? Beauty informs me Snow is going to be 100 times more freaked out than I was because, how do I say this while still keeping the money? Snow was getting rapped by the 7 little dwarfs down in 8 Mile.
You went to Cranbrook, that's a private school!
I get to the funeral and Snow gives me the "not now, I'm in a call" as I patiently wait to tell her dad is wrestling with the maid. But MLK is spittin' though, giving us a proper send-off to Black History Month as I decide to let her cook and go talk to Prince Lawrence, who seems angry Lily is receiving a funeral while Faith is... Bro, you can literally organize one yourself. I mean, if you don't get your ass up and bury her yourself instead of feeling sorry. After hearing him flex to make himself feel better, I go and read the memorabilia, observing how based and red-pilled of a gamer Lily was, a big fan of Skyrim, while I read her best moments on the Xbox Live mic. Now, for obvious reasons, I can't say what was written, but it was akin to
niggas in my butthole, niggas in my butthole, niggas in.
Snow completes her sermon as Holly engages in ape mode. I thought you were a troll, not a beauty turn-on. She gets mad even though I'm about to announce the killer, but I let her go off because these 5 to 10 for assaulting an officer are rated E for everyone. Just try me. Unfortunately, she's too smart to fall for my master bait as she believes I threw her sister down the witching well, which, oh god, Crane.
You are to blame for this unpleasantness.
He destroyed the evidence. That's my job.
It should have been me!
I'm almost inclined to make him my boy with his adept mastery of skirting the Bill of Rights, a TCLR classic. Mr. Tripped on a mine while we were running out of Afghanistan asks why I'm not out stopping bombshells to thoroughly investigate the smell of marijuana coming out of their bras. Or better yet, legally spin the block on my ops, who are all black. Finally, I announce who murdered her sister. Come on now, Big B, it's official Fabletown business. But I've learned from the Black Lives Matter riots and rally the people to my side against authority, allowing me to tell on Crane without repercussions. Snow decides to stop me and tells everyone to go back to the funeral. You heard her, boys. Time to give Crane a proper send-off. Snow's sympathies fall on deaf ears as this this respectable, empowered woman throws me under the bus.
What do you say fuck me for?
I found out who literally blew your sister's back out right after blowing your sister's back out, and you want to blame me? Snow wants some sort of evidence. Wait, I actually need that? I thought it was an opt-in kind of thing. So I start lying and telling her every weapon I've learned over the years. He was reaching for a weapon, he refused to cooperate, he was going 58 and a 55. I even listed my sources. Until I realize, wait a minute, I'm in the right this time, and exhibit the photo of Crane. Ariel comes and asks for Snow since this is a really important moment in a troll's funeral, and I give her the go-ahead to milk lol cows with the other trolls for one final time before sending off Lily, but it does turn out to be a ploy by the Little Mermaid to enlarge my little man, until she also gets called over, leaving me all alone waiting.
Constable? Wait, easy now, girl.
Wait, imagine someone threatening you like, Constable? Anytime a British person threatens you, it just sounds like they're messing around.
I'm gonna get my Aprilla out and do burnouts on your front lawn, and then I'm gonna chuck mud bombs at your nan's windows, you silly bastard.
Drive by in what? You're gonna come at me with one of these? Oi, I see him. O block for the glory of the king. They get mad at my impoliteness, wanting a how do you do strange, since we already know their EDP-like frames are suffering heavily from numerous diseases. What diseases exactly, you may ask? Well, just check WebMD and pick something, they probably have it. After roasting them, telling them their frames make the Leaning Tower of Pisa's look like a sound, stable structure which passes all safety requirements. I tell the r/neckbeard mascots to piss off, and they tell me to stop going after Crane, implicating themselves, and as I ask another question,
just take a little vacation is all. Don't even have to go anywhere. Just sit in your office and whistle.
I mean, it's crazy.
What?
We finish each other.
Holly sees this Disney XD spectacle going on, and I have to think quick. Wait a minute. I'm a cop! I'll just lie and say yes, very well, with no intention of actually honoring our agreement. The silly putties make a grand show of it and start flaming everybody in sight as Ben 10 got a new alien monster while I was gone. The loud hot Cheetos consumer. Now, to be fair, the twins were about to leave, so we can easily de-escalate the situation. Surely you won't charge two idiots with shotguns.
Yeah, let's spare all the fuss. It's just a dead eye.
YouTube, I want my money. He one-taps Holly and is about to save his brother, but I intervene to seize his weapon as my teammate throws and feeds the enemy, who shoots me before they both make their escape. In all honesty, we could probably take a nap or two and catch up to them before they can Club Penguin waddle 100 feet, but they're armed, so we kinda have to let them escape. Notice how twice now these idiots charged a guy with a shotgun. You would think this was Ohio 20 years after the government spilt cyanide and mustard gas into the river, leading Ohioans to evolve into this. I get patched up by the doctor as Snow gives me the exposition.
Dr. Swinehart was appointed Fabletown physician for a reason.
What? He's a doctor? My apologies, I thought he was Mr. Clean. Everyone else made it out as fine as can be expected, although their long-term outlook is grim considering natural selection is undefeated. Snow gets a call telling me the town is beginning to find out there was a shootout on Buckingham Bridge. Color my nipples purple, cause I for one am shocked they found out so quick. Crane smashed the magic mirror last episode after stalking me and finding out that I found out about his furry fetish while my boy Buffkin was drinking in the bleachers. Being unfathomably based as usual. All we have to do is wait for him to repair the mirror, but Snow is having her doubts that Crane would kill female companions, and what doesn't make sense is why kill Faith? She ain't do nothing.
Can I, ask you a question? It's kind of personal.
To which I reply, sure, trying my absolute hardest to keep my mast from setting sail in vain, might I add. But it was all for naught as Snow asks if I feel a sense of primal urge when things go wrong, like an Oonga Boonga mechanism activates in my brain. Kinda like when degenerates go, Auga, when they see feet. but instead with violence and blood and such. This many videos and it took you this long to figure it out? Buffkin saves me from testifying in Nuremberg and tells us Crane took a piece of the mirror with him. Crane might want to rap Snow, but Buffkin actually dropped some bars against her.
He had to have left something that tells us where he's going. He's a neat freak, but he was never that smart.
Smart enough to take a piece of the mirror.
Snow snaps at him and he looks sad, so I go and talk to him and he lets us in on a secret. Crane's going to visit his witch, the one who made his snow glamours, presumably. Until I more importantly tell him it wasn't his fault, even though it was. Never mind, he's got a point here. His 3-foot frame wouldn't have done shit against Crane, so I take pity on him and make sure this situation never repeats itself by helping Buffkin become an average TCLR subscriber. I quickly whip out the phone and get Buffkin to subscribe immediately, allowing him to grow 4 feet with another 2.5 on the way. As his body enters metamorphosis, getting ready to increase his bald man to unrealistic proportions, he's ready for a rematch with Crane. One where a single rip of his shirt exposing his abs to Crane is alone to vanquish him from reality completely, and even erasing him from people's memories with the thoroughness of his destruction. Whose destruction? Exactly. Leave a like and subscribe to not only be able to watch a full-on marathon of Season 8 of Game of Thrones, but to, more importantly, not miss out on future content. I try opening the drawer, but it's locked before Snow gives me the police secret code, roughly translating to cameras are off, cripple every nerve in his body, as we find a book, perusing the catalog until we get to a page torn out and require Buffkin's expertise.
It's a ring, at least.
Brilliant! My boy is a Sherlock replica.
It must be this witch he is going to see.
Wait, what witch?
Buffkin overheard Crane set up a meeting with a witch.
Well, yes, it sounded like the one he got his, glamours from. It must be about this ring.
Why not mention this before?
No one asked me.
Buffkin!
The meeting is at 2 a.m. tonight before Bluebeard and his perfect jawline blast through. Bluebeard presses us for answers, but me and Snow keep him in the dark, as is the logical maneuver in this circumstance.
The only thing we know is that Crane's going to see a witch at 2 o'clock.
AM or PM?
AM.
Odin has spoken. Welcome to the investigation, Bluebeard. After Buffkin's 11th commandment, we let Bluebeard in on the plan as he lets loose a flurry of words that would make feminists everywhere gag as he speedruns losing his Twitter account with various kitchen, dishwasher, baby maker, the Iranians were right. We conclude we at least have some idea of what's going on and a time frame as Buffkin makes sure we know this was all his doing, of course. Snow tells me to go to Holly's place first, but Bluebeard is wondering what the Tweedles have to do with this ploy as the two of them begin debating the Tweedles' intelligence. After trying to play peacemaker, Bluebeard is going to scour Crane's apartment as we get to the greatest moment of this episode.
What? You can't just go up there.
And why the hell not?
We already looked for the key, remember? I don't know where it is.
Then I'll pick the blasted lock.
Wait a minute.
Then I'll pick the blasted lock. Then I'll pick the blasted lock.
Hey, Lee, you know how to pick a lock, right?
Then I'll pick the blasted lock.
Well, you know, urban?
After telling us he's not gonna sniff Crane's panties, that's good enough for me as his next point seals the deal.
We can't just let Bluebeard run amok in Crane's place. We have to find the witch, Bluebeard, since that's where he's going.
Or the sniveling weasel chickened out. Never went anywhere. And is upstairs right now in his pitiful penthouse, crafting a fort out of couch cushions.
Knowing this is a Telltale game, I eeny meeny miny moe it and go to the Tweedles first while Lee goes to Crane's apartment. I get to the office where Flycatcher is sucking me off as I ask for the Tweedles, who are shockingly not here. He started working for them after Crane fired him to increase company profits, and as I ask to see the Tweedles office. After unlocking the door, I tell him I either search the place or hit myself with a lead pipe, giving him 20 to life for assault on an officer. I look through their file cabinet where it seems a money embezzlement scheme is being run as, what are these prices? We have my college loan being figured out as a quick math problem on top, an actual dinosaur fossil considering the price, and the original Bible being sold to Crane, and he had the audacity to ask them to find a compromising photo of faith after looking at a debt that would make Greece look like a bastion of financial stability. We get some fan service for comic readers, another target for their slave trade operations. I love how they have a 3-step program to turn Beauty into a hook. Female companion, excuse me, Neil. Bugcatcher tells me that they aren't that bad and everyone deserves a chance at redemption, and Stalin wasn't that bad, all things considered. After noticing their fluent mastery of the pen and prescribing them with permanent trips on the short bus, Bugcatcher continues with his tanky rhetoric. Not everything people say is true. They're good people. They shot up Lily's funeral because they're hitmen. They made Columbine look like a Nerf war. This man really trying to play the free my boy, he ain't do nothing wrong card when it turns out that boy was using these lyrics as a daily to-do list.
Home invades, robberies, homicide.
After feeling bad, it turns out I've opened his eyes and he lets me into their secret passageway out back, the VIP section. I walk in cautiously, half expecting to meet Bill Gates, Jeffrey Epstein, an African prince, and Fidel Castro surrounded by a bunch of 13-year-olds. But it turns out this is just their smuggling operation. Crane was sending money to the crooked man through the Lucky Pawn or something, as I quickly seize the money for closer inspection later. A butcher is deciding to jump into the coffee business, a foreshadowing of things to come next video as Flycatcher continues with this episode's theme of fan service for the comics. I find a container with Snow's hair and reverse engineer the process to track down the person it was meant for. Auntie Greenleaf. God, I'm such a good detective. Without an address, unfortunately, I call up Snow to see if she knows what's up, but she'll get my boy Buffkin on the job, and I decide to let her know Crane's been embezzling from Fabletown to feed his fetish. Now, I've personally never stolen my boss's credit card to sign up to Fart Furry Fetish Monthly, so I wouldn't know the punishment surrounding that crime. But since it wasn't a subscription to Furry's magazine, I don't think we can get him with firing squad. I decide to go to Crane's apartment next because I don't trust Jagoff Lee trying to impersonate the real Blessed One. I get to his apartment where Buffkin tells me that Bluebeard burned everything. Oh no. The cunning, sexy, jawline abuser planted a trap, swiping Buffkin's phone and unsubscribing, leaving him powerless against Bluebeard. That right there is worth firing squad at least. We can't use anything here, so I tell Buffkin to track down Auntie Greenleaf as I make my way to the Trip Trap. I politely knock and...
Read the sign!
I sure hope this fine establishment's papers are in order.
Hey, look, Woody, it's the sheriff.
Gren wants a drink, although it apparently combines with whatever medication he's on to create bleach in his gut. Woody tells me Holly is asleep in the back as the doctor gave them ambrosia, which Gren lets us know it gives a very nice high if you resist the melatonin signals. Before he ruthlessly puts down Woody.
Yes, he did. He certainly did. But let me tell you something. I haven't felt this good in a long time, fat boy.
That one there was a violation.
Me personally, I wouldn't take.
Okay, that was uncalled for. Come on, man. It's not even that funny, I mean. Eventually, I play along with Gren and we give out a toast. To the dead. They start arguing and then fist fighting as I watch to see who wins, but before I can place any bets, they stop as Gren tells me the news. Woody, not satisfied with cutting down trees with his axe, has been using his other tools on Holly's sister behind Holly's back, who only found out after going through her shit. What could you have possibly left to implicate yourself, Woody? Like, did you leave a DNA test with your semen? Perhaps you decided to take a picture of yourself to commemorate the occasion? Now, I'm assuming he was a paying customer for this companion, considering the fact I don't remember seeing him on the Rizzards of Waverly Place. Nor does he look like he freed the slaves with Abe Rizzler Lincoln. Nor does he look like he has a high-level account on Rizzard 101. After laughing and pointing at how he had to pay money to get any action, he storms away. Gren, after promising to help me, says he doesn't know shit and passes out as I decide to sneak into Holly's room. If I wasn't a police officer, I'd be in a very difficult predicament. I end up waking her up as she groggily has me reconsidering my story choices and whether I care about the strains, the one at the bottom. I care about the ones who can pay, unless they're black. I find the initials and the address for Auntie Greenleaf as Snow calls me up and I tell her to meet me outside her apartment and can't help but go, "Was that a good doggy?" Me and Snow get there as she gives me command of this operation.
This is Sparta!
Don't be fooled by her, Snow. This is obviously a lolly. Where's Crane, bitch? If you don't calm your car starting in negative 20-degree weather ass up and tell me where Crane is. After me and Snow play good cop, bad cop, we learn the girl is named Rachel and ask if she's seen a tall, skinny, pale man running about, perhaps browsing incel.com on his phone. But she can only respond with an art teacher I'm fairly certain caught her hubby getting lovey with another dovey. I tell her I don't care about the law, let me search here getting 20 to life for pissing me off. I scout around the premises finding an antique music player.
Big band or classical?
Honky tonk.
We have a suspect, she's armed, dangerous, and on perk 35, so I'm gonna need backup, over. We find a giant tree her mom used to carve trinkets out of, like glamours, perhaps of unsuspecting women, and I find the butcher. Yes! I knew that man was gonna be important. Who is he? What does he do? Is his coffee enough to challenge Nescafe? So many questions that need answering.
God damn it.
Shouldn't say that.
We don't find anything, so we're on our way out. Aha! A primitive butt plug. Her reaction to my finding confirms my suspicions as I try to turn it on. And she goes ballistic. That's no child underneath that disguise. I get to opening it while Snow holds back the hostage, I mean suspect, and I open it only to find she was Auntie Greenleaf all along.
Might have gotten away with it too. If it wasn't for these black.
Hurts when you do it that fast.
Betcha it doesn't hurt more than this. After roughing up an innocent civilian a bit, I now go ballistic on her, telling her she's aiding a murderer.
You might want to check your facts on that.
Crap, she knows the law. She's afraid of powers beyond our pathetic authority. Ah, god damn it, Big Pharma's behind this, aren't they? Snow breaks and says, "Alright, watch this," and lists a bunch of bogus charges, might I add, which I have no idea what they mean. I'm an officer of the law, after all. How am I supposed to know what any of this jargon she's blabbering on about means? As she says we're destroying the tree she uses to make her glamour, causing Auntie to break. She makes some very good points, and the old hag was wasting our time. I'm with you. Burn down her livelihood that helps the less fortunate fables.
You think I like being the old woman in these stories?
You're literally a glamour maker. Just disguise yourself as Snow. I tell Snow I can't do this. There are people we'd be banishing to the farm.
Bigby, this is an order.
The fuck do you think you are? But before I show Snow the difference between being a dog and having that dog in me, Auntie breaks and tells us Crane went to the pudding and pie and took the magic ring from earlier with him, which acts as Wonder Woman's lasso, but it's lost its power decades ago. Snow is still looking for blood though and tells me to burn down the tree, but I tell her to do it herself and walk out as Snow and Greenleaf exchange more words before we make our way to the club. Crane's car's here as I fart and look at Snow until she realizes. I get into the kazoo player on the brick phone, throwing insults left and right. He's frying my ass. Punch. We find Crane and push past him as he shows us the definition of foreshadowing before I catch Crane red-handed assaulting a companion. I place Crane under arrest without any actual bullshit charges this time as he begins trying to explain to me how it couldn't have been. Slaps. He tries getting the ring to work looking like he's using the force to lift up a TV remote or something.
My lips are sealed.
That's like the 7th time they've said that. That's gotta be code for something. Crane gives up shortly after as he tries pleading how he didn't do it before he decides this is the best time to profess his love in front of Snow. Before Snow catches strays right after, professing his love and roasting a girl he's into in the same sentence. A true inceller. I found your commander-in-chief. Snow shockingly strikes him down before taking pity on him and saying he probably didn't do it. And I say, fine, we still got him for home invasion, assaulting a hooker, robbery, illegal glamour smuggling, possession of a deadly weapon, embezzling, and attacking me with a deadly weapon. Not to mention he probably played that Harry Potter game. We got his ass for life in the court of public opinion. Even considering we're in America and have to drop the deadly weapons charge, that's still enough to get him for life at least.
Now, I guess we know who's in charge, Sheriff.
sometimes it's fuzzy.
Unless you want to see me get fuzzy, you better keep your leash away, Snow.
You think you have what it takes to run that office? I made sacrifices.
I'm sure you sacrificed a lot when you decided to smuggle less money out of Fabletown than you normally would do out of the goodness of your heart. He keeps talking and I give him a nose job free of charge before what I can only assume to be abuse of a prisoner. He starts blaming women for his permanent membership in Maidenless Anonymous as Snow.
What you see, you little shit?
Nothing, father. It appears someone wants to park close to the strip club. That's okay, we can just go the other way. Crap, it's probably the FBI. Well, seems my past crimes have finally caught up with me. I'll see you all in next week's video straight from Nuremberg, Germany. Karen, Halloween variant, comes out of the car along with her 2 Snorlaxes, but I'm not very familiar with her strain, so I'm a little cautious. But thankfully she isn't here for me, but Crane. She tries scaring me by getting the Tweedles to name drop her, but they're a little too retarded to be remembering names and lets me know she's Bloody Mary.
Because some of them, they think it's funny to have their little sleepovers and go into their little bathrooms and say my name 5 times in the mirror.
Whoop-de-doo. What you gonna do now? Whip out a Ouija board? Now, I may be a corrupt son of a bitch who's routinely stopped women at streetlights in the off chance I get to see their areolas, but if there's one thing I'm not, nor will ever be, it's a quitter. If you want this probable innocent man in our custody, he isn't innocent, doesn't matter, it's all the same to me. You'll have to pry him from my cold, dead hand.
Bigby?
As you can see, even a demon straight from the depths of hell herself cannot do more than try to prevent the vaginal fluids from escaping when come face to face with an average TCLR subscriber. She still shoots me though. She comes out with Woody's axe and like the deodorant with a middle schooler, she gets ready to murder me with her lethal weapon. But Snow breaks and offers up Crane for my life. Now, I don't know why the Crooked Man would ever take this deal, considering it's not as if Snow's gonna stop Bloody Mary. In fact, I'm sure the total calories she would take to consume is a lot less than the single-calorie meals the Tweedle twins are used to ingesting. But we'll get into the Crooked Man next video, the finale of The Wolf Among Us. Finally, Bloody Mary tells us Crane ain't no killer before abusing him like she was Brooke, the BDSMer, standing of course for beater of dogs, spitter of mutts, as that concludes the episode. As always, leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on future content. Speaking of which, check out these videos in the pinned comment. I'll see you all next time. Peace.